And the next step is to really ask the questions that you and I have already, had the courage to ask, and many, many millions of people like us, and to come to certain conclusions. And then you go, well, what is the antidote? How do we get out of this dystopian knot that we're being kind of tiptoed into? And what can I do, little me? Who am I? How can I have an effect against this massive agenda? And this is part of the hypnosis, that we are made to feel small, that we feel disempowered, that we feel like we actually can't make a difference. This is what the whole intent is intended by the narrative and by the whole drama that's being played out. But the truth is, just like in The Wizard of Oz. Do you remember when they were going along the yellow brick road and they finally get to the Oz, and there's this big booming voice saying, whoa, and they're all like cowering, going, holy shit. And then one of them has the courage, I think it's the lion, or maybe it's Dorothy, opens the curtain behind, and they see this grizzly old man with a long beard, really weak and frail, with a big megaphone. And the whole spell, the illusion has come undone. And this is what we do. People are, with the whole humanity is under a spell. And as I say, even intelligent people who I know to be intelligent are under this spell. And so what it has to be happening is a dispelling process, and that can only happen inside. This is not a revolution like in the past. It's not going to be fought by guns and war and, weapons and strategies and armies. The war is already happening. People say, when's the Third World War happening? It's happening right now. We are in it. Lockdown is actually a wartime situation. That's why how people were in the Second World War, and not even as extreme as it has been here. So we are in the war.
This is house arrest, right? This is house arrest right now.
Absolutely. That's it. In plain words, call a spade a spade. It's house arrest. And people, this war is a war on consciousness. It's not a war for land. It's not a war for territory. It's a war on consciousness, on the monopoly of human consciousness.
Yeah, let's let that sink. Yeah, let's let that sink for a minute, because I think this is so beautiful that you bring this up. Because we hear this, and because this seems like, DarPan, such a far out woohoo thing, it's hard to really grasp. But the way you described the beginning about this, fear of losing our identification to the dense frequencies of matter, of identity, of persona, of me. Like, when we see that is a frequency, we see it as a state of consciousness, right? That we've all been functioning in, and we move out of this matter perspective of thinking that a chair is a chair, a door is a door. I love what you just said there. This is a war on the consciousness of the multi-dimensional space that we can move into, right? That's what I just want us to just absorb that, because if people are listening can really let that sink in, that nobody can control your state of consciousness unless you let them. And that actually we have the capacity to go, wait there, I'm not feeding with my plasma, with my intention, with my creative energy. I'm not feeding that consciousness anymore. I do not feed it. Anyway, that's what's coming up. Continue, please, DarPan.
This is a revolutionary, what you're just describing there is a revolutionary act, but it's not a revolutionary political act. It's a revolutionary act in terms of your own consciousness, in terms of repositioning yourself into a point of empowerment to say, I have dominion over this sovereign being. I have dominion over that. Nobody can force me to do anything unless I agree or unless I acquiesce. Even if I don't agree and I do it, I'm acquiescing. We have this power to say simply no. We have this power to say, I do not consent. And that doesn't mean you have to be anti anything or angry at the government or angry at the vaxxers or anything like that. It just means, as you say, you simply cease giving it energy. The way I look at it is this: we create our reality moment by moment. On a very, I haven't got time to go into it right now, but I could present an argument that shows exactly how we do that, and that by taking responsibility for our current reality, we empower others to do the same. And that what happens then, if you completely surrender to your own power of dominion, instead of looking to the authority on the outside on how to live your life, then that is a very, very powerful step. in self-empowerment. And once you take that, then you can simply exercise your right to not contribute your energy to that which doesn't support you or support the well-being of others. And the only way these people, like the wizard behind the curtain, can get away with this, because you're talking about a very small amount of people, like you could fit them in a room in a house,
exactly.
who are exercising this. If if everybody just simply became aware, like if what the whole story, if the spell was broken and transparency became clear, everybody would just see it. Like I
Yes.
would say, the higher the monkey climbs, the more he shows his ass, and more the monkey is showing his ass, and people are starting to see it. Then they have to have the courage to act, and this is where it becomes really important, where we can exercise our power, where we simply take back our right of dominion over ourselves. We simply come to a point of going, I am me. I'm a being inhabiting this vehicle, this body at this time. Existence chose me to be here. So I'm here by divine right, not by any political dispensation of any country or nation. And I am the child of the universe. And as such, from that authority, I speak and say, I have dominion over my own being, and no other shall exercise dominion over that. If you can come to that point, then you're really in a very powerful point. You simply say no. Say, I do not consent to that. If, for example, you don't want to have a vaccine, you say, no, it's not for me. And you don't attack them, you don't fight them, you don't argue, because then you fight the tar baby, you get stuck to it. You simply state your position clearly and without any too much emotion. And then what happens is that actually things start to fall away. If you actually have the courage to do that, there is very little that can happen. And particularly if you get a lot of people doing that, it's like a house of cards. The whole thing will simply fall down. But of course, people are under the spell of fear, or the spell is maintained and fueled by fear. And the spell is being, narrated daily on the mainstream media. And so this is what people can see. It's like a stage hypnotist. I studied hypnotherapy for years. And you can make people believe there's an elephant in the room when there's not. You can make people not see someone else in the room when they're there. You can make all kinds of adjustments to the perceptions of the eyes or the five doors of the senses through hypnosis. And these beings know that. And of course, if you look at the daily news, it's just a tool of mass hypnosis. It's no longer the news. It's a propaganda device. It's absolutely using all the techniques of hypnosis. For example, even when you watch the news, you're being told something. Meanwhile, down below, there's a readout of something unrelated going on somewhere else in the world in the text. And of course, your mind can't help but read the text. So your left brain is being distracted whilst your right brain is completely open to receiving unadulterated, uncensored what is being told to you from the television. So that's a classic hypnotic trick. You distract,
and that goes straight in faster to the subconscious, right? Because
absolutely,
your brain is open, so therefore the program is actually quicker. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So the first step is to take away, is to see the spell. That's the first. This is our time to rise.